okay, this is what the surface is, but what's beneath that? Like everything we do is for a reason. Every behavior that we enact out stems from some underlying belief or thought or emotional reaction, which again comes from some kind of thought. So it's like finding out what is going on for that person, like what are they struggling with, how can I support you, and just opening that communication. And again, we don't ever have any control over how the other person responds to us. So all we can do is our part and say, look, I'm here. Please talk to me. I'd love to find out, like, how are you coping with this? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything you're finding particularly difficult? And just opening up that kind of communication channel, like without knowing any of the specifics. Can't really say much more than that. But yeah, open communication, get curious. Don't kind of project onto people. So don't like to give people space to come forward to you. Like it's best to not say like you're doing this or why are you doing that. Like just invite that open dialogue so that they can share and let you know what's going on for them, and hopefully then can come to some kind of resolution.
And if people have got specifics, Laura, can we direct them? Where would it be? To your, like, say, Instagram, that will, with your handle, we'll tag it in this post, that they can come to you and approach you then to discuss in more specific detail?
Yeah, sure. Instagram's always a good place. Send me a DM and then we can chat more from there.
Okay, great.
And is it like, again, during this, is it also worth kind of, because I guess people are responding in different ways, and you are seeing different. I mean, I'm finding I've got a lot of time to think as well, whereas normally I'm so busy I don't really have time to think or process everything, and actually I'm probably overthinking a lot of things now. Is it also good to maybe give people, especially maybe teenagers, a little bit of space on things like this, because maybe they don't know what's going on themselves, or they're trying to process their feelings and emotions and hormones and everything that's going on when you're that age. Like, is that something that you'd advise maybe as well in just giving, I don't know, this is just a question, in giving in a bit of space? Or
yeah, exactly. Like we've said, it's everyone's going through their own internal little turmoil, and everyone responds to that differently. Great point that not everyone necessarily knows or has that insight as to like what this means or why am I feeling that. They might just feel this emotion, not know what to do with it, and then act out. Or again, like we've said, it could be something that's triggered from like weeks ago that's now kind of playing out in this because they've not actually voiced it. So when it comes to dealing with people's emotions, the best thing we can do is to say, look, I'm here for you. I'd love to talk to you about it. If there's anything I can do to help, even if I can't help, just talk to me. I'm here, but I'm not going to press you on it, because that can also make people shut down. So yeah, kind of getting the balance. But when we live on top of each other in households, it can be a challenge. But again, for the person that's dealing with those kind of situations, to also pay attention to, okay, how is this making me feel? How is this person's behavior or whatever they're doing? How is that making me feel? And look at that as well, like, and why is this bothering me, or where is this going internally for me as well?
What about, I mean, a lot of what we spoke about is in pretty happy relationships. What about if you're actually at home and your relationship's in a phase of breakdown, either was just starting to break down prior to this, or this has just highlighted issues that you've maybe overlooked or not wanted to deal with, and you're actually stuck in with somebody in quite a difficult situation?
Yeah, so if it's obviously a situation that's potentially harmful to get out, I know the government's actually put out advice saying if you are in an abusive situation, the rules don't apply. Go seek help, get out of the house. You can go out and seek support. There's also helplines that are still running where you can call for help. I know the Samaritans and different places like that are always around to take calls. And you can even, I think, message them and email them as well if you're not physically able to talk, to share with a friend. But yeah, personal safety is obviously priority number one. If it's not like to that degree and it's just like, you know, this person's irritating the hell out of me, is to look at, okay, is this something that can be resolved? And a lot of things can be resolved through communication, conversations, things like we said, like the love languages. That is a massive thing that can literally transform a relationship. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse is something that Dr. John Gottman talks about. So he did a experiment some years ago where he took a bunch of like newlyweds and put them in kind of like a bed and breakfast style house and filmed them and filmed their conversations and how they interacted. And then he could predict with like 90 something percent accuracy which couples would lead to divorce and which would stay together. And it's all in like the certain ways of how we communicate. So the 4 horsemen, so these are the things to look out for. And they do have kind of like antidotes. You can reverse some of the damage. Sometimes it's too far gone and it's best to just kind of break up. But the 4 horsemen, so first one is defensiveness. So like we spoke about earlier, rather than doing that, what you can do is having the gentle start up to conversations, so avoiding like the nevers and this and you, and kind of going, I'm feeling this, can we talk about it? Like, tell me what's going on from your point of view, because none of us are easy to live with. Like, we've all got our challenges. So defensiveness, contempt, which is a result of kind of bottling things up, and that resentment that builds over time then just turns into like sniping at each other, and obviously that's really destructive. Stonewalling, which is when the partner or someone won't actually talk to you and they just kind of put up the wall, silent treatment. That's obviously really, really damaging, but that is also kind of like a defense mechanism as well, so it can be worked around. And then the other one is criticism. So again, kind of nitpicking at each other, which is easy to do when you're feeling that emotional response. It's easy to lash out at other people. So avoiding those ones. A big transformation tool is appreciation and gratitude. So actually taking the time to say to your partner, like, I really appreciate when you do this for me. I'm so grateful that you've done that. And even if it pains you, you know, sometimes if someone's really annoyed you and you're like, they don't deserve my appreciation. To like put that aside, and even if you're not there yet, one thing you can do is like make a list of things you appreciate about that person. So even if you don't voice it out to them, just internally to kind of soothe yourself and to pivot away into a more healthy mental state, is start listing, what do I appreciate about this person? And the funny thing is, like, where we focus, that's like what we get more of. So if we're focusing on all the things that annoy us, we'll just see more of that. Whereas if we actually start to focus on the things we appreciate, the things we're grateful for, we will then start to notice more of those. And funnily enough, like the other person will start to respond differently to us, because without really knowing it, sometimes like the little kind of micro expressions that we do or little ways that we behave, that will change and we'll be more open. And yeah, so those are the things to look out for. If you're having issues in your relationships, try and like implement some of those, because we've got to get through this next little periods if you can't obviously get out and leave. And for some people, those are tools that can actually transform the relationship, get it back on track. But yeah, having that open communication and a partner that's willing to listen is a great starting point. And to get to that place, the appreciation, the gratitude, the gentle start-ups of conversations, watching your language. Yeah.
That's great. That's such good advice. It's tweaking old habits as well, isn't it? I guess if you get into that routine where you do nitpick or criticize, or like you say, little things that annoy you, then it builds up and builds up, especially in this time, just to switch that that thought process. And I love that about thinking about the things that make you grateful. But yeah, amazing advice.
Using the response as well. So I think Claire mentioned about like sometimes you say the things and then after you've said it, you're like, oh God, like I shouldn't have said that, but it's too late, damage is done. You can actually go back and go, look, you know what, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to react in that same old way. Like, I'm sorry I did that. I'm going to try and do better next time. And just kind of catch yourself, because that's like, we're humans and sometimes it takes a while for us to kind of retrain, rewire our brains into new patterns, which is why the gratitude and appreciation is so powerful, because that's like one of the simplest ways to retrain our brains, whether it's to do with a partner or a child, or any situation. To be looking for things we're grateful for and appreciative of is a great way to soothe like the nervous system as well, and just make your life a whole lot better. So yeah,
that's really interesting, because actually while I was speaking, somebody's just sent a message, and she was written that she's really struggling with boundaries with the teenagers and their behaviour. And so she thought, I'm really struggling to motivate myself to behave in a role model way as the parent, because she's ended up arguing with them and she's the parent. And I think taking that step back and thinking about what you're grateful for with your children and thinking of the good qualities and the other things, just to calm you down, so that when you tackle the behaviour, you're not in that heightened kind of defensive mode.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to ask that as a question.
No, it's great. It's great. It's also a good point. So, like a question to help you pivot and get back on track is like, what do I want instead? So it's like, okay, I'm feeling like I want to erupt in anger, or like I just want to go and shut the door and like disappear. Okay, but put that aside. Like, what do I want instead? I want to be able to assert my boundary with confidence, or I want to be able to take a deep breath and let it just wash over me, whatever it is. And then start as well, like visualizing yourself acting in that way. So like in the brain, if it's not something that comes natural to us, we can literally just mentally rehearse ourselves reacting differently. So even if you have that kind of exchange with a child and it goes not how you want it to go, okay, that's done, draw a line under it, then go away and just think, okay, what would I do differently next time? And just like mentally rehearse that in your brain until the point that eventually that will start to become your default go-to. So as well as not to beat ourselves up, we're all like works in progress, we're all having like our emotional reactions right now. But yeah, a good pivot is to go, what do I want instead? And then actually start to rehearse that. And even if you don't feel like doing it, even if like you catch yourself and you're like, right now I just want to scream and shout, what I'm going to do is how I want to behave, like how the role model I want to be.
Gonna have to go home and go home. I am home.
I know, yeah. Where are you? I know I'm gonna have to change everything now. I feel like I just need like half an hour in the bedroom to go, right, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to reprogram myself?
I'm gonna go out of here now and go, oh Matthew, you look nice.
It's gonna be like, whoa, what happened in there? You're done with my wife. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Laura. I've taken so much from that, and I think that will help so many people watching this. And like Claire said, if they can reach out to yourself, or you know, if there's any other organisations out there that are all still up and running, we can list them below as well. But yeah, we're gonna
thank you very much.
wrap it up there. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Claire.
Thanks, Sarah. Right, see you all soon.
Thanks, Laura. See you soon. Bye.